Imagine this. It's a total nightmare scenario. A marriage is falling apart, things get ugly, and then suddenly, it's not just a marital dispute anymore.
It spirals.
It spirals completely. Suddenly, the husband's elderly parents are getting calls from the police. His sister, who lives, 3 states away, is named in a complaint.
Even distant cousins. We see it all the time. They're all scooped up in these, what the law calls omnibus allegations.
Which is basically a fancy term for vague blanket accusations, right?
Exactly. A template complaint where you just copy-paste the names of the entire family. And that's what brings us to our deep dive today. The landmark case of Rajesh Sharma versus the state of UP from 2017.
This was a huge deal. This was the Supreme Court basically hitting the brakes on what had become a culture of, automatic arrests.
And they had the data to back it up. It wasn't just based on stories. They pointed to the National Crime Records Bureau data.
I was looking at those numbers. They're incredible. In 2012 alone, something like 200,000 people were arrested under Section 498A, the anti-dowry law.
And get this. Nearly a quarter of them, almost 48,000, were women. Mothers, sisters of the husband.
Wow.
But here's the kicker. The conviction rate was just 14.4%.
So a massive gap between people being arrested and people actually being found guilty.
A chasm. And for the court, that was the proof. It showed that arrests were being used as a weapon, not as a last resort after an investigation. It was violating human rights and, frankly, just ruining any chance of the couple ever reconciling.
You can't really fix a marriage after you've had your in-laws thrown in jail.
Not easily, no. So the court decided to create what it called a civil filter, a way to, slow down the criminal machinery before it runs over everyone.
And this is where those family welfare committees came in.
That was the big idea in Rajesh Sharma. Yeah, to have these 3-member committees of, social workers or respected locals in every district.
So they would review the complaint first.
Yeah.
Before any arrests.
That was the directive. The court said no arrest should normally be effected until this committee files a report, usually within a month. It was meant to be a buffer zone.
Okay, but we have to put a big asterisk here for everyone listening, don't we? Because that part of the judgment changed.
A huge asterisk. You're absolutely right. A later judgment, Social Action Forum, revisited this. The court realized that making these committees mandatory everywhere was maybe creating a kind of extrajudicial system, so they were rolled back.
But the spirit of it survived, right? The core idea that arrest should be the exception, not the rule.
Precisely. That philosophy, that cooling-off period, is still the guiding principle. And Rajesh Sharma introduced other protections that are still very much in force.
Especially for relatives who don't even live in the country.
Oh, absolutely. The judgment really went after the routine practice of impounding passports of NRIs or issuing red corner notices.
Which is just wild. A red corner notice is for, international fugitives. For a domestic dispute.
It was happening. The court said, stop that. And also, stop forcing relatives to fly across the world for every single minor court date. They pushed for using video conferencing. The process can't become the punishment.
So smart. Now, what about settlements? Section 498A is non-compoundable, which, in plain English, means you can't just drop the charges and settle it out of court.
Right. For serious crimes, the state pursues the case no matter what. But the court saw how rigid that was for family matters, so they carved out an exception.
How so?
They empowered district judges to close the criminal case if the husband and wife genuinely settle their dispute. It prioritizes saving the family over just, ticking a procedural box.
It's a huge relief, Elf. They also said that denying someone bail just because dowry items haven't been recovered is a no-go.
Yep. They shut down that tactic of using jail time as leverage.
So for the legal pros listening, what's the actionable takeaway? How do you use this in court tomorrow?
It's all in paragraph 19 of the judgment. You use paragraph 19 of Rajesh Sharma alongside the guidelines from the Arnesh Kumar case. That's your toolkit to argue for bail, to get exemptions from personal court appearances. It forces the police to explain exactly why an arrest is absolutely necessary.
So at the end of the day, it's about checking the misuse of the law without weakening it for real victims. It's a very fine line to walk.
It's the eternal tension in law, isn't it? Balancing liberty against justice. The committees might be gone, but the message to police was clear. Investigate first, arrest later.
Which I guess leaves us with a big question to think about. Has the law, in its evolution from Rajesh Sharma to today, finally struck the right balance? Or is the pendulum still swinging between protecting the accused and potentially delaying justice for the victim? Something to mull over.